Well, welcome, Haley. It's so lovely to have you here today. Thank you for taking some time out. And I know that you are on a little break right now. And I really wanted to check in with you and see where you're at after so much work that you've done and so much that you have shared with me on this journey of yours. And really, I think the purpose of this interview today, or just this little chat or conversation that we have, is to kind of catch up with you and see what's going on for you post all of the training. You're now a certified transformational life coach. You have had quite a few things happen in your life. So I think what I would love to start with is maybe you can just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more, and we'll see where the conversation goes from there.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm Haley. I'm a 40-something-year-old mom of two busy teenage boys. I was widowed 6 years ago, so I'm a single mom. And it's been 6 wild years. Some of it has been less wild and more peaceful. And I think a lot of that has to do with learning this philosophy or understanding that I got through my courses with you. So, yeah, that's me.
But you say it so easily, and I'm guessing for some people that are listening to you, they'll be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean peacefully? How do you get that? Where does peace come from? If it's so big that you were widowed 6 years ago, and obviously I knew you at that stage, and I've seen you, and it has been remarkable. You do have a very busy life with your teenage boys, and there've been some things that have happened in between. So what do you make of that, Haley? What is it that you would love to, if someone said to you, how do you get that right? What do you think you'd say to them?
I think, first of all, just helping them to understand that our circumstances don't have to dictate how we feel. So we can have peace and we can create space in our mind, even in a chaotic situation. And just knowing that that's possible gave me so much hope. So when I first started hearing this, I didn't understand what you were saying, but I felt hope immediately because knowing and believing you for long enough, saying that this is possible, gave me that hope that I needed, and that changed my life.
So, that it's possible.
Yeah.
We know so many things are possible. We hear of what's possible, and yet when we're in it, it just doesn't feel possible. So, is there a shift that was made by you just hearing it? Was it just a full acceptance, or was there some kind of a feeling that you had that built up for you over time to get you to this place, where you are, which is remarkable to witness?
So I think my expectation was when I joined was that I was going to learn new skills, so new coping skills. So my mindset, I was very caught up in my head, and I was very ready to do battle with the world and get stronger. And then when I realized that I didn't need a new set of skills, that what I needed to do was unlearn a lot of the coping mechanisms that I had, and realize that I'm not broken, I'll never be broken, and that deep within me lies the wisdom that I need to get through absolutely anything. And that if I would follow that feeling and trust the universe to lead me and guide me down a road, that there was no better path. And so day by day, as I spent time in that space, just following that feeling, everything changed. It was a daily shift. And I just knew that this would be a new way of living.
You said three amazing things there. I thought I was going to get new skills, learn how to cope with life. So, in other words, better thinking about all the terrible things that were going on with me, and something completely different to that happened for you. There was clearly something that went on within you that gave you some kind of evidence of the possibility, which you are now living in. And all of the shifts in your own mind that took place means that you can show up here today and speak so clearly on what it is that you've been through. And still now I'm hearing you and I get goosebumps thinking about how much someone can feel the peace that passes all understanding. Because how does one make sense of being widowed at the young age that you were, and still here to spread, a message of hope, of possibility, of an understanding that you didn't see before this. But I'm hearing you talk about it, and I know that you know that everyone has that. What would you say to someone who scratching their head and saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Like you said, I didn't know you didn't know what I was talking about. Me too, when I first heard it. I didn't know what they were talking about, but it started to kind of just infiltrate everything. What would you say to them?
I would say, while you were talking, the phrase rest in peace like popped into my mind. And it's because of when you go through tragedy and loss. I recently lost my mom as well. What comes at you through people is their wishes for her, and that she would rest in peace, and that Roger would rest in peace. And somehow, I don't know when and how it happened, but I thought to myself, I want to rest in peace in this life. I want to be alive and rest in peace. I want to function as a mom and as a co-worker and as a sister, and rest in peace. And so there is a way in the chaos of this life that we can find that. And yeah, it's super accessible to everybody. You don't need to have a certain set of skills, or you don't need to have gone through massive trauma. You just need to open your heart, really, not your mind. Open your heart to believing that the universe has a better a way for you to be.
On Saturday, we had a group of teenagers, and just that one thing that you said there, um, about you don't need to go through tragedy or trauma to experience it, as much as you don't need to have, um, you know, a soft, gentle path.
Yeah.
It's so irrelevant what goes on, because we are born with this, and you've come to really, really get it and to understand it. And I always say, and you know this, you can't get it for anyone unless you've got it for yourself first. Now,
Mm,
from your
definitely.
experience and from the story that you're telling me, is it removes all the obstacles and all the barriers, because you have had that path that has been,
Mm,
um, let's say, more challenging than most. And even so, you could get to this place. So getting to this place almost sounds like a misnomer. You're not getting anywhere because you are here already. I'd
mm,
love to hear a little bit more from you on how you navigate life with these busy teenagers. Because I used to have teenagers. I've got teenage grandchildren now. So let me hear a little bit from you how you come to navigate life from this peaceful place and what that means in your daily life.
mm. So I think the biggest revelation for me with my teenagers was that life is happening for them, as much as it's happening for me. So life is happening for me and not to me. And so my greatest teacher is life and learning to go with the flow. And so why would I put myself in that position when life can teach my children? And the universe and God knows so much better and loves so much bigger. All my job is to facilitate that learning. And so that takes so much pressure off, because now all of a sudden you are not the all-knowing person. This, like, all responsibility doesn't lie with you. And so when you feel really, really wound up, or you want to take things personally, or I don't know, it's created distance between the 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 difficult parts of parenting, and it's allowed me to be more present. So I'm not going, oh, this means this is going to happen. And if you choose this or be like that, I'm more present, and I am less controlling. And when you're more present and less controlling, then you get to enjoy them more. So I hope
Mm,
that sums it up.
sure. Beautifully. I'm imagining any parent that's listening to you now and has a difficult relationship with their teenager, if they really get that and they hear that, it's kind of in a different way. It's like you don't have to do the heavy lifting here. You
Yeah.
can you can enjoy your life, and you can trust that your children can also enjoy their lives, and they've got access, as you said right in the beginning. Everyone has access to this, and so do they. And so you can it's not about assuming, it's about accepting, right? And you speak
Yeah.
about a revelation, which is what I'm in the middle of, is helping people to really get to grips with what is revealed from life
Mm.
happening for you all the time. So how do you manage to is it something that you teach your children, or do you think it's just something that they observe in you?
I think you teach by doing. So it's like speak often and sometimes use words. So like focus on yourself, and when you slip up, because you do, make them allow them to witness that correction. So it's like, oh, um, I noticed I'm being like this again. I'm going to step back. And so they just witness you and how you are in this world. And they obviously feel the change in terms of those how it affects you. But I'll just go about life normally. I don't really try and teach them anything. They just see through how we live.
So I don't try and teach them, but just go through life normally, and they see how you live. It sounds like a really, really easy path as compared to got to do this, got to know this, got to get this.
Yeah.
Um, and I can sense it from you, the presence that you speak of. So I think it's invaluable. It's an invaluable conversation to have. And for anyone that is, throwing their hands up in the air and saying, what do we do with teenagers today? I don't think it's about teenagers today or last year or 10 years or 20 years ago. It's about presence. No matter what's going on outside,
Mm.
you get to be present if you want to. And um, I'm guessing, and you can tell me, has your relationship with your boys, your teenage boys, improved because of this way of living?
It's definitely improved. We've definitely become closer. I'm a lot more of a cheerleader in their lives than a disciplinarian. Um, there are
Mm.
consequences to their choices, and I don't stop those from happening. Um, I just maintain my distance. So no matter what their choices are, I'm always there. And that means that they can trust me and that they feel more empowered. And so I think overall, for sure, our relationship has definitely improved.
Oh, I got goosebumps when you said that one statement. I'm much more of a cheerleader than a disciplinarian. And I'm guessing that doesn't mean that you are irresponsible, but you are
Yeah.
there, like you say, they know and they can trust that you will be present. So I think that I wish I knew that when I was a young parent. My children are all
Mm.
grown now, and fortunately, I can get to share that information with them now and with my grandchildren. So I'm feeling quite comforted by knowing that everyone has got their own sort of inner guidance, and you display that to your children, and they get to witness that and they get to live from that. And the other thing that you said is this space, like stepping back rather than so intensely in their lives and attempting to manage and control. I'd love for you
Mm.
to close off, Haley, and tell me if there's a message in this life that of yours that I'm getting to witness, which is unfolding magically, really, right now, you being on a little sabbatical. And, whenever people watch this is when they watch this, but it's something that you purposely chose and selected. It was an elected thing. Tell me a little bit more about that, and I'm gonna let you finish off.
Yeah, so I think that as you become more curious and as you trust yourself to make the right decisions in life and to follow your gut, knowing that wisdom speaks as clearly to you as it does to the next person, um, you are able to be aware of what you need in that moment. And so 3 months ago, I was very aware of that I needed to slow down. There'd been chaotic things at work. And so it was like, no, I've chosen to take this time out. My kids, I don't want them to remember this overwhelmed mother that was struggling. So I made a deliberate decision to take 3 months off. And so for me, it has meant everything because it wasn't advice I got from someone else. It was what I knew I needed to do. And so learning to trust that inner voice has made the biggest difference in my life. It means that I feel less alone. I don't. I know that I hear what I need to, and when I listen to that voice, there's so much peace. And so it's just created the kind of space that I need to realign with my purpose. And it's such a blessing to know that you just need to sometimes be quiet, be still, and wait for direction. And then you'll get the absolute best set of directions you've ever had, and then follow that. And so that would be my message. Yeah.
And a powerful and beautiful one, Haley. I can't say it any better than that. The best directions come from a space of quiet. And I think let's close on that because I don't want to get any more noise in my head. I want to rest with that little message that you gave to everybody and especially to me. So thank you so much for your presence today. I really, really
Pleasure.
appreciate the time.
Pleasure, Sharon. Thanks so much.